So let's have a conversation about the B word. Which B word? I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, we have a PSA from Drew Sidora, courtesy of our friends over at Reality Chat. Let's take a listen.
I want to speak to y'all because I really think that there's a bigger conversation that we need to have. Um, when we're talking about tragedies and we're talking about incidences, I think that we have to be more responsible and we need
Mm,
to be sensitive.
mm.
It is disheartening to me that we are now on episode 6 and we're still dragging this unfortunate event that took place. And it
Hallelujah.
bothers me that we are making a deal about a place of business for an African American woman. Okay, let's be clear. It's a woman of color. And my comments weren't even so much about Candy. It was, let's be clear, be real. We're all women with very big platforms. We are on a show that has a very big platform. We know that there's cameras there. And one thing I overly communicated is when we're using certain, oh, I want to speak to y'all certain words, we need to be aware and sensitive because there are people that are watching us, and you
Mm.
never know the words that you use that can trigger people. And that
Well,
is what my concern was and my reason for saying incident. Being from Chicago, I sit on the task force for Robin Kelly, Congresswoman Robin Kelly. I've done a lot of work with a lot of politicians. I have a
yes.
nonprofit called Dream Makers where I take in the youth in Roseland area, Inglewood. I do acting workshops. I do a lot of work with Father Flager and the Peace Jam. Camille Williams, who is an activist who fights for better gun laws and gun prevention. And we don't go around using words that could trigger people that have been through traumatic experiences. And I think that it is a conversation. If we're going to talk about this on our show, then all I'm asking is that we have a conversation, talk about prevention, to talk about things like this not happening in our certain words communities. Because what Candy has been able to do is offer a business in a community for people of color to go have a good time, all right, have some good food. And I think that should be respected. I don't care who it is, communities, because
Well, so that is Drew Sidor giving us her rationale for not saying the word pow pow and saying the word incident, for which Marlo had a fit, a meltdown, if you will. Okay. Um, to further her point, Drew is also putting together an event that talks about this type of instance not being pretty. If you go to her website right now, this event is happening today, June 13th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And she has a plethora of people joining her live. It'll be moderated by Allison Jordan. And so you can participate because she says it's time to have an informative heart-to-heart conversation. I have gathered some of the best educated, experienced, intelligent, and powerful speakers from the city of Chicago to bring awareness to this important topic. Many have lost loved ones, friends, coworkers, and more. It's time we talk about it. Let's expand the conversation about this type of incidents, as I'm saying, okay, and our sensitivity to the matter. Let's educate ourselves on using better word choices when discussing these incidents and tragedies that affect our community. The funny thing about it is, I use the word incident on this channel because it could trigger the things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a family friendly platform, so we got to try to keep the conversation family friendly. So I get it in a certain sense. This is her rationale for some of the backlash that she's been getting. Although a lot of the backlash has been related to her calling Marlo aggressive, which from the comments yesterday, many of you guys agree and disagree on. Okay. Was Marlo aggressive with Candy? Hmm. Was Marlo aggressive with Drew? Hmm. In one instance, I would say that Marlo was aggressive with Drew. when she yelled in her face and towered over her at 6 foot something, and then Drew was a good 3'2". And then in the next instance, we talk about Marlo with Candy. Well, I definitely feel like Candy was probably the more turned up party, although Marlo did nothing to defuse the situation, but only pour fuel on the fire. Okay? So, what does the word aggressive mean? You know what I'm saying? What does it mean to you? I'm beginning to think that it has a more personal meaning to each person. As we're talking about the word aggressive, okay, I think it's great. This is a great little pivotal moment in the in the video right here, where we're going to pivot from aggression. We're going to go from A to B, and the B is the B word, and the B word is bully. Okay, now I got to tell y'all something. I was so busy trying to interpret the things that Sheree Whitfield was saying on Watch What Happens Live as she was doing her Janet Jackson whisper. And no, do not take this as Janet Jackson shade. Please, no. If you know me, you know that I was just listening, okay, to my Janet Jackson playlist right here. I want you to see the proof. The proof is in the pudding. All right. That's the Janet playlist. Let me show you. The Janet playlist is right here, baby. All the hits. All the hits. So it ain't shade. But y'all know Janet be whispering. It ain't no secret. And Sheree was doing the same. So I was so busy trying to interpret what she was saying. I think I needed to turn on the the captions, closed captioning. I forgot to tell y'all about this moment. And I'm so glad our friends over at Everything Housewives posted it. So one of the questions that Porsha was asked on the show, she was asked to the question, who is the biggest social media bully in Housewives? And so she picked two. She said Brandy Glanville and Candiace Dillard Bassett. And I said, oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go. All right. Now, we saw on Ultimate, before Ultimate Girls Trip, Porsha and Candiace had some internet words after the Candiace and Monique altercation. And then Ultimate Girls Trip happened and they had some more words. But ultimately, things turned out fine because she was invited to Porsha's wedding. But now, I fear, my fear is that this could just go back down the drain. Let's talk about the word bully, shall we? Let me look up the definition real quick because, I got to make sure I'm using this correctly. I always think, when I think of bully, I think about, intimidating someone who is, okay, so it says a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those who they perceive as vulnerable. I mean, these housewives. Who it depends on who you bullying, right? Maybe, I don't know. It's always hard for me to look at these housewives as being bullied. Although in some instances, if we take the literal definition and we say to ourselves that it means to intimidate someone who they perceive as vulnerable, there could be something there. Do I think that Candiace is a bully? I think I would describe her as that. But I guess it would have to depend on who was on the receiving end of whatever she had to say. For what I can see, Candiace is mostly about her business, a little fun shade here and there on the Twitter these days. And Brandy, listen, they done wore this woman so far down into the ground at this point. I don't know if she'll ever work again like that. So I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know in the chat what y'all think. All I was thinking was, oh, Porsha, please don't have to take us back. I don't want to have to do another story about a Candiace clapback. I don't. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the chatterization down below. What is aggressive? What does bully mean to you? Let's talk ABCs. I will catch you all in the next